And to complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. Here are the top stories. Prices of fruits remain stable in some markets ahead of the year-end festivities. In Divisoria, Manila, red grapes are sold up to 220 pesos per kilogram, black grapes at 280, while the green ones sell at 320 pesos per kilogram. A pack of 3 seedless oranges cost 100 pesos, as well as a pack of 4 Fuji apples. Pineapples are 60 pesos apiece, while mangoes sell at 150 pesos per kilogram. Melons are priced from 50 to 200 pesos, while chestnuts cost around 300 pesos a kilo. Prices of fruits are expected to go up as year-end festivities draw near. Divisoria is among the places to go for people looking for affordable materials and gift items this holiday season.
Mataas po kasi yan kasi demanda po kasi panghanda para sa bagong taon. Kasi kinokompleto na lang yung 13 fruits.
A group of rice retailers believe that the price of rice in local markets will not be reduced even if the Rice Tariffication Bill is enacted into law. According to Alyansa ng Industriya ng Bigas, the proposal to lower the current price of commercial rice by 4 to 7 pesos per kilogram will not happen due to the expected rise in fuel prices next year as an impact of the implementation of the second tranche of oil excise taxes under the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion or TRAIN law.
May tariff kami na binabayaran na 35% of the amount kung magkano bili namin sa abroad like Vietnam, Thailand. Pero pag mapirmahan yung tarification bill, ibig sabihin may tariff pa rin, 35%. Pero kahit sino pwede magparating open na Ano mangyayari? Walang magre-regulate. There should be somebody who would regulate.
Senator Sherwin Gatchalian of the Senate Committee on Economic Affairs meanwhile believe that the market will have more supply of cheaper rice due to rice tariffication. Senator Cynthia Villar of the Senate Committee on Agriculture and Food has earlier insisted that the National Food Authority must still provide low-priced rice in local markets even with the passage of the proposed Rice Tariffication Act. Coastal residents near Indonesia's Anak Krakatau volcano have been warned to keep away from beaches amid fears it could trigger a new tsunami. On Saturday, giant waves crashed into coastal towns on the islands of Sumatra and Java, killing at least 281 people and injuring 1,016 others. It is thought that volcanic activity set off undersea landslides, which in turn generated the killer waves. Anak Krakatau erupted again on Sunday, spewing ash and smoke. The family of slain Ako Bicol Party List Representative Rodel Batocabe is planning to ask the Department of Justice to place the possible witnesses on the case under its Witness Protection Program. The family has earlier called on those who have any information that could lead to the arrest of the suspects. Congressman Batocabe was killed by still unidentified gunmen while attending a gift-giving event in Daraga Albay last Saturday. Police investigators have said they are eyeing politics and the involvement of the New People's Army as among the possible motives for the incident. However, the Batocabe family believe that local politics is the reason behind the killing and that the communist rebels have nothing to do with it.
This is local politics. Definitely. I can say my husband, nationally, wala siyang kaaway. Even personally, wala siyang kaaway. He was friends of everybody. We don't have to look so far with the mastermind.
In other news, President Rodrigo Duterte has refused to reciprocate the unilateral ceasefire declared by the Communist Party of the Philippines and New People's Army. In a speech during his visit at a military camp in Mawab, Compostela Valley last Saturday, Duterte ordered the armed forces of the Philippines to destroy the communist rebels to finally attain law and order in the country.
Law and order means we have to destroy, not really fight, but destroy the Communist Party of the Philippines, including its legal fronts and infrastructure. We do not subscribe to the ceasefire. We are ready for anything, and I said, change your paradigm. Do not fight them. destroy them. Destroy them, kill them, basta destroy them.
Duterte's statement comes after the NPA attacked a military detachment in Sibagat, Agusan del Sur last December 19, abducting 2 soldiers and some CAFGU members and carting away several firearms. The president assures the military he will assume full responsibility with this order to end local communist armed conflict.
We have to destroy them. Destroy them. Wala namang maniwala ng human rights. I assume full responsibility. Turo, kakita ninyo ako lang ang dinidemanda ng mga... Well and good. Look, the presidency, alam ninyo yan, is a gift from God. Kilala naman ninyo ako kung sino ako at anong... My gift to you, Filipino, my freedom. Pag ako ang sinabi may kasalanan, aminin ko lahat yan at ako'y makulong, magpakulong ako. Okay lang. It would be an honor to go to prison for the Filipino.
Meanwhile, the decision to dismiss the Ateneo Junior High School student in the viral bullying video may still be changed to expulsion if the Department of Education finds strong grounds to impose the said penalty. According to Education Secretary Leonor Briones, they may still review the decision of the Ateneo de Manila University if needed. The school administration on Sunday ordered the dismissal of its student who was caught on video bullying other students after a thorough investigation. Briones says expulsion is different from dismissal based on DepEd Order number 88 series of 2010 or the Manual for Private Schools. Dismissal only prevents an erring student from re-enrolling to its previous university or college. Expulsion, meanwhile, bars a student from being admitted into any public or private school in the Philippines. This penalty is meted out if a student has committed gross misconduct and serious school offenses like assault or threat on a fellow student. Briones also insists that child protection policy has long been implemented in schools wherein any form of abuse or violence is prohibited.
We have a policy, very, very clear policy on child protection. And we go by the United Nations Declaration on the rights of the child. It's not just physical, but mental as well as even electronic, cyber abuse of learners.
And for the news abroad, here's Pauline Ompico live from Tokyo, Japan. Pauline, good evening.
Good evening, William. More than 75,000 well-wishers paid their respects to Emperor Akihito, who turned 85 on Sunday, his last birthday celebration at Tokyo's Imperial Palace before stepping down next year. The birthday of the emperor, whose position is ceremonial with no political power, is traditionally marked by a national holiday and an address at the palace, which opens to the public on the day. The morning crowd of 75,490, according to the Imperial Household Agency, was the largest birthday attendance during Akihito's 3-decade reign. The partial U.S. government shutdown could possibly stretch into New Year, according to a top aide of Trump administration. Akihito will tell us why.
U.S. President Donald Trump's budget director and chief of staff on Sunday said the partial U.S. government shutdown could continue to January 3, when the new Congress convenes and Democrats take over the House of Representatives.
The paychecks, importantly, will go out on the 28th. I want everybody to understand no one is working without getting paid. Paychecks go out on the 28th. The next pay period that is impacted is January 11th. I think that is, it's very possible that this shutdown will go beyond the 28th and into the new Congress.
The U.S. Senate adjourned on Saturday, unable to break an impasse over Trump's demand for more funds for a wall on the border with Mexico that Democrats are unwilling to accept. Mulvaney said the White House made a counter-offer to Democrats on funding for border security that falls between the Democratic offer of $1.3 billion and Trump's demand for $5 billion. As part of those talks on Saturday, Vice President Mike Pence offered to drop the demand for $5 billion for a border wall, substituting instead $2.1 billion, ABC News reported, citing unnamed sources. Financing for about a quarter of federal government programs, including the Departments of Homeland Security, Justice, and Agriculture, expired at midnight on Friday and will not be renewed until a deal is done. Federal parks were to close, and more than 400,000 federal essential employees in those agencies will work without pay until the dispute is resolved. Another 380,000 will be furloughed, meaning they are put on temporary leave. Law enforcement efforts, border patrols, mail delivery, and airport operations will keep running. Kath Carriedo, UNTV News and Rescue, USA.
Thousands of Serbians take to streets to demand fairer media and an end to political violence. Meanwhile, Turkey heightens military activity on both sides of its border, with Syria following U.S. move to withdraw its troops. Jovic Bermas will tell us why.
In Serbia, thousands rallied in Belgrade on Saturday in protest against President Aleksandar Vucic's policies and demanding an end to political violence, as well as fairer reporting from the country's public broadcaster. It was the third large protest held in the Serbian capital since an assault on Borko Stefanovic, leader of the small Serbian Left Party, on the 23rd of November. Opposition activists say Vucic is an autocrat and brand his Serbian Progressive Party as corrupt. They also claim that he has control over much of the Serbian media, which gives him an unfair advantage. Vucic's approval ratings have slipped somewhat since he won a 2016 presidential vote by a landslide, but he remains the country's most popular political leader, and his ruling coalition has a comfortable majority of 160 deputies in the 250-seat parliament. In Turkey began reinforcing its positions on both sides of its border with Syria on Sunday, as Ankara and Washington agreed to coordinate the United States' withdrawal from Syria. The heightened military activity comes 2 days after President Tayyip Erdogan said Turkey would postpone a planned military operation on Kurdish YPG militia east of the Euphrates River in northern Syria, following the United States' decision to pull out. He also said Turkey will take over the fight against Islamic State militants. The Turkish presidency said Erdogan and U.S. President Donald Trump, in a phone call on Sunday, agreed to establish military and diplomatic coordination to prevent an authority vacuum from developing as the United States withdraws from Syria. And in United Kingdom, British police on Sunday released without charge 2 people arrested in an inquiry into the illegal use of drones at London's Gatwick Airport that crippled the operations for 3 days last week. Sussex police arrested a 47-year-old man and a 54-year-old woman from the local area late on Friday after drones were flown onto the airfield between Wednesday and Friday, forcing about 1,000 flights to be diverted or cancelled and affecting 140,000 passengers. No group has claimed responsibility for the disruption. The airport said on Sunday it was offering a reward of £50,000 or $63,275 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible. Jovic Bermas, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Pauline Ompiko, live from Tokyo, Japan. An inventor from southern France develops a machine that breaks down plastic waste into fuel. Here's why from Mon Hokson.
French inventor Christopher Costes has found a way to turn plastics into a liquid that can be used as fuel. Costes says his chrysalis machine creates fuel by feeding bits of plastic into a 450 degrees Celsius reactor and churns out liquid composed of 65% diesel, 18% petrol, and 7% carbon.
1 kilo of plastic gives a liter of liquid. It's separated between diesel and petrol. It gives a liter of liquid.
The makers say it could be especially useful in developing countries where waste management and fuel supply is fraught with difficulties. The developers hope to create a container-sized version of the machine by mid-2019, which can churn out 40 liters of fuel per hour using a process called pyrolysis, or decomposing the plastic with high heat, which breaks up the plastic molecules and transforms them into lighter hydrocarbons.
L'idée, le raisonnement, c'était de se dire, si ça a de la valeur, les gens ne vont pas le jeter, ils vont le garder. Et puis, un peu comme une consigne de bouteille. Donc, on a créé Earthway avec comme raisonnement de chercher toutes les technologies à taille humaine, pas dans l'industriel, à taille humaine, qui permettraient de revaloriser ce déchet.
Every year, about 260 million tons of plastic is produced. UN figures show 8 million tons of plastic bottles, packaging, and other waste enter the ocean each year, killing marine life and entering the human food chain. Conservationists have warned that plastic pollution in the oceans could outweigh fish by 2050. Mon Hokson, UNTV, News and Rescue.
South African jazz artist Musa Mancini has played his music all over the world, but one performance stands out, strumming his guitar while surgeons operated on his brain. A video of the multi-instrumentalist and university lecturer taken during the 6-hour surgery for a brain tumor shows him lying on his back in the operating theater surrounded by scrubbed-up medical staff plucking the strings of his guitar. Doctors opted to keep Mancini awake in order to assess which areas of his brain were functioning as the surgery went on, helping to reduce the risk of neurological damage. Once fully recovered, Mancini intends to take to the stage again. And those are the reasons behind the news, December 24, 2018. I am William Thio. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.